This online slide presentation that you're watching today has been produced following the recent round of Talking Transport events that we went out and did at locations across West Yorkshire, and we wanted to provide an opportunity for people who couldn't attend those events to be able to access the material that we shared in those events themselves. So what I was going to cover with you is following the first round of Talking Transport events earlier this year, there was a number of you who said things to us and gave us feedback, and I wanted to give you an update which we shared at the recent round of Talking Transport events on what we've done with all of those comments and feedback that you gave us earlier in the year. So I'm going to go through those district by district. So initially with Bradford, so earlier in the year, some of you said you told us that accessibility for cyclists, wheelchair users and pushchairs is important to you. And so what we've done is we've undertaken, working with partners and the local council, looking at recent consultation on West Yorkshire places and improvements in the Bradford Moor area to try and address and make sure those considerations are being looked at as part of delivering our place agenda. You also raised concerns about the length of timescales for bus franchising, and our operators will remain engaged. And obviously on that, we are maintaining regular engagement with operators throughout the timeline as we go through the transition to a franchise network across West Yorkshire. You also told us that there's been an increase in antisocial behaviour on buses. Now, obviously, we've got the Mayor's Safer Community Fund project, which is doing that, tackling that, going out, looking at behaviour, and hopefully making people feel safer and able to use the public bus network across West Yorkshire. So moving on to Calderdale, some of the concerns and feedback that we received there, obviously accessibility concerns about Halifax bus station. The Combined Authority has met with a group of people in Halifax who've raised concerns, and as a result there's been new signage ordered to show where waiting areas are at bus stands and where wheelchair users can use those. Also, you've said, how will the Combined Authority reduce the number of car journeys and promote other ways of travelling? Now, policies and plans for reducing the number of journeys taken by car are obviously in development and being developed. We've got investment going on in bus, rail, walking and cycling infrastructure right across West Yorkshire, not only in Calderdale. We've also been consulting on a programme of shared transport hubs, specifically in Calderdale, in the first instance, and looking to roll that out wider across West Yorkshire as well. You also said updates on progress to electrify the Calder Valley line and construction of Ellen Station. So we at the Combined Authority, working with stakeholders, have made the case to government for £2 million development funding to develop the strategic case for our priority rail electrification schemes, which do include the Calder Valley line. We're obviously waiting the outcome of this at the current time. We're also making good progress on Ellen Railway Station, with detailed designs now complete, and these have been shared with Network Rail, and we're seeking to bring the station into service in 2028. So we're over in Kirklees. Some of what you said earlier in the year to us, particularly around buses, around service reductions to buses, around route shortening and cuts, and the quality of real-time information. We're continuing to work with operators to try and protect the existing bus network across West Yorkshire and put back services where funding allows, when operators have reduced the offer that's available. Bus services to Kirkeaton, funded by the Combined Authority, stopping before they reach the village. We've addressed that, and services do now run into the village and have been doing since February this year. And then on bus franchising, you said, what is it going to cost? Will it result in cuts to routes? Will small and medium-sized operators be considered? Now, the initial cost of around £20 million to set up franchising has been identified, and the basis for initial franchisees is the network will be franchised as it was in March 2024 when the Mayor took the decision, and we're looking at specific smaller size contracts to ensure that there's fair competition and that small and medium operators get the chance to participate in the procurement process to run some of those franchise contracts. And then in Leeds, there were questions last time around mass transit. Obviously, there's a lot of development work going on around mass transit and the importance of accessibility for cycles, prams and wheelchairs, and concerns about disruption during construction, proposed routes and future expansion. That's all being fed into the development plans that are currently underway. There was feedback about a lack of cycle parking, and we do have a cycle parking programme that's in development, which will be coming forward shortly. You said about problems with pavement parking. We continue to work with key stakeholders, including the Highways Authority and West Yorkshire Police on that. In terms of bus, people feel there needs to be improvements to reliability and frequency, traffic congestion impacting reliability of bus services, and a need for more real-time information. Also, more space needed for mobility scooters on the bus network too. They're all things we're looking to try and address through the transition to franchising. And then the final one on Leeds is, how is bus franchising being managed to ensure it is being delivered on time and to budget? We do have a large programme management and project management function in place to do exactly that, and we've obviously bound by strict assurance processes that we have to go through too, in order to make sure we do deliver on time and to budget and quality as well. And then Wakefield. So last time you said that facilities at Wakefield Kirkgate Station, in particular the waiting room, which has been closed for a period of time, I think actually a resolution has now been reached regarding that, but there has been a lot of discussion, negotiation with Grand Central and Northern Railway on sort of bringing that waiting room back into use. Wakefield and Nottingley rail services not stopping at Outwood rail station. Services are now, I can confirm, stopping at Outwood. Capacity on the Leeds to Doncaster line has also been increased with individual services having four units instead of 2 or 3. On the bus side of things, you asked about the frequent cancellations and service diversions and removal of evening services. We've done a lot of work with Wakefield Council and neighbouring authorities, and also the bus operators, of course, to try and enhance several services and ensure that no community is left without a bus service. How will monopolies excluding smaller operators be avoided under franchising? Again, already sort of covered that. There will be specific provision within the tender process, meaning that smaller sized contracts are put out to the market, which will aim to drive competition and facilitate participation of smaller and more medium-sized bus operators. And then finally, the future of access bus was something that was covered earlier in the year. Currently, we're seeking approval to procure 33 brand new vehicles for our access bus service because the existing fleet is getting older now and is reaching sort of life expiry dates. The service contracts for running access bus is due for renewal next year, with a new contract, a new service operating contract up and running from April 2027, and access bus the service operating model will remain for the time being, but hopefully, as I say, there'll be a number of new vehicles working on that service for us. Okay, I'm now going to hand you over to Helen, who's going to cover the rest of the presentation. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you, Rachel. Hello, everybody. I'm Helen Ellerton. I'm Head of Transport Policy at West Yorkshire Combined Authority. So as Rachel has outlined, these sessions and the role of this is following on from our 6-monthly review and ability to look at kind of conversations across West Yorkshire. Rachel's gone through kind of some of the questions and discussion that happens with you all at those sessions, and questions, and then our responses to those and where we've got to on those. Those live issues are really, really important, that we know and understand them, and what we're doing about them to help and improve your experiences of travelling across West Yorkshire. What we're going to do now is a bit more about about that experience from a policy position, but also overall in terms of how we're delivering the Weaver network. We are currently out to consultation with our local transport plan. Our current local transport plan is West Yorkshire Transport Strategy 2040, and it is being reviewed and looked at, and our current consultation is live now through to the end of October. Our new local transport plan and therefore our new policy framework for delivering transport across West Yorkshire is built on the premise of the Weaver network. So what is the Weaver network? The Weaver network is our new identity for an integrated transport network across West Yorkshire, and it is based upon our ability to deliver a better connected transport network across West Yorkshire. It was revealed back, the Weaver brand was revealed back in May, and on the back of that we have been working hard to develop a number of areas that help bring into that network. The brand represents an ambition to deliver and drive a seamless and reliable transport network across West Yorkshire, and bring together a number of areas from bus to future trams to bikes to everyone, making it a seamless journey across the piece. Next slide, please. So, as I've just said, the context for all of this and moving forward is our Mayor's West Yorkshire Local Transport Plan. This is a statutory document that every local transport authority in the country has, but it gives an opportunity for us to really build and bring together our programmes and our work across West Yorkshire to help set our framework for the next 10 or so years that allow us to align and bring funding in to deliver further across West Yorkshire. So we are currently in our consultation period through to the 21st of October, and looking to adopt our new local transport plan in 2026. So the policy framework behind the local transport plan is a vision that builds on and develops the Weaver network. So it's as a leading transport network for West Yorkshire, benefiting people, places and our planet, and embedding sustainable transport choices across the economy to enable the economy to grow. The vision for the Weaver network is built and delivered upon by 6 principles, and having an integrated transport network, having an inclusive and affordable transport network, having a reliable and resilient transport network, having an active transport network, a zero emission and safe transport network. Each of these principles are on a basis for which we have built our policies on, but also will look forward towards developing and delivering programmes of schemes across West Yorkshire that enable to improve our Weaver network and our delivery across West Yorkshire for transport. We could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So what is our vision? Our vision for the Weaver network across West Yorkshire is as you see now. What this shows is our first phase of the mass transit programme. This is looking to have spades in the ground for construction in 2028, linking Leeds, Bradford and a South Line down through Leeds district. Building on that and coming out from that, our core bus network. Our core bus network is our key bus network, for which is supported by a number of additional services across the piece. But what you see on here is our core bus network. Our core bus network provides connectivity across West Yorkshire, bringing communities together across the whole of the region. In addition to that, you see our rail network. Our rail network is key for not only cross-boundary movements, but also across regional movements as well. And then our strategic road network as well. So our Weaver network is based upon these high-level movements across the piece. But in addition to that, it is also about bringing in the door-to-door movement. So if we could go to the next slide, please. to enable for this network to work effectively across West Yorkshire, we also need to make sure we are putting the right level of intervention and the right type of intervention across communities, enabling people to make the movement from their front door through to wherever they're going, however they're going across the network. So making sure we have the right level of improvement, placemaking improvements, really kind of looking at people's space and community. For example, having good access to walking routes, cycling routes, making sure that ticketing is of the right type and accessible, as well as information provision around public transport, but also ensuring people feel safe within their local environments. The local transport plan aims to kind of deliver across all of this piece, and through our next funding settlement on that basis. Next slide, please. Thank you. To help us on that way, we as an organisation, a number of decisions have been taken over the last few years to really bring and build onto those structures and bring them into place. The first one of which is that the Mayor took a decision to make a franchising scheme across West Yorkshire in March 2024. What this essentially means is that all buses operating across West Yorkshire will come back into public control starting in middle of 2027, over the course of 3 tranches. So 2027, later in 2027, and then the final tranche in 2028. What that enables us to do is provide stability across a bus network that then we can then control how the future network develops and how the fares and the ticketing sit across all those, enabling us to prioritize the right level of connectivity across a network in a much more considered and coordinated way. Thank you. The second major programme that we have in process at the moment is a programme for mass transit. Last year we consulted on phase 1 and the route options for mass transit, and what this might mean for different communities across the area. So the phase 1 routes, as you see on the screen, were consulted on. Next year we will be consulting on a preferred route, building down from these route options. Mass transit provides an opportunity to have a step change in the level of connectivity across West Yorkshire, within a space where we need to improve our public transport offer to enable the wider area to develop and build on the benefits that greater economic offering across this geography will provide. This allows us to provide greater capacity across all of our public transport network and provide much more choice and option for people travelling into Bradford and into Leeds from the wider conurbation. Next slide, please. Thank you for listening, and I hope that's been informative. If you do have further questions or want further updates on the back of what you've heard today, please see the link on the website shown below. As said, we are also currently out to consultation for our local transport plan, and the local transport plan and its documentation are also on our Your Voice site as well. So following that link on the screen will bring you to both areas for further review and discussion, and to provide questions if needed. Thank you for your time, and goodbye.